All right, let's start off by saying that even when I'm not really enjoying what's happening somewhat in Chainsaw Man, it's still a real just delight. I love the characters so much. This International Assassin arc is probably my least favorite arc so far, but I still had a real fun time reading it. So we start off with Denji being super depressed and like, I'll never go and find happiness. Woe is me. The bomb devil girl Reese has taken all my happiness with me. I miss her so much. And then all of a sudden, yes, jumping up and down, he's so excited because he's going on vacation with Makima. And of course, Aki and Power will be joining, but he's just like, yes, I'll come. Yes, I'm so excited. Only to go back to sad because the news footage of him fighting has drawn the attention of a bunch of international assassins that are all going to be coming after him from all over the world and all of the other countries, and now he needs to be in like protective custody. However, this protective custody is not really for his protection. They're using him as bait to draw out these assassins. And Denji is perfectly fine with that because the sooner that these assassins show themselves, the sooner he can kill them and then go on vacation with Makima. Because now his entire motivation, his reason for happiness, is going to be wanting to go on that vacation. I also want to say this here and now. I do not learn characters' names until I like that character. So, all these assassins, I'm not going to call any of them by name. We have, let's see, there are 3 brothers who can shapeshift. There is a group of girls that were introduced having an orgy, but the orgy scene was fine for Viz to have on their website, but the chapter after their introduction, that, in my opinion, was probably less graphic, was not, and I may or may not have had to track down that chapter on a different website in order to read it. I guess due to the graphic nature, it couldn't be on Viz. There is 2 assassins who have like a master-apprentice kind of relationship. They were like hunting down a fox. And then you have Santa Claus, who had my favorite introduction of being like on a park bench and someone coming up and being like, Christmas has come early this year. Okay, who's getting the present? And then it's like this guy Denji, Chainsaw Man, what do you want as payment? And he's just like, I need 4 kids, doesn't matter the gender. I need 3 for contracts and 1 for pleasure. And I'm just like, eh? Who is this man? Is he going to die? What does he want with those kids? Regardless, we get Denji again having the dream with the door or the wall. I think it's a door. And Pochita saying, do not open it. So, again, some kind of secret that Pochita has, as well as I mentioned last time that I read a couple chapters in just because I couldn't leave on that cliffhanger, and it was Angel and Aki, the Angel Devil, and Aki having lunch, and the Angel explaining that there's a cyclical resurrection type thing going on with the devils where you die in, or you're killed in the human world, you wake up in hell, you're killed in hell, you're reborn in the human world. And none of the devils or fiends or anything like that remember hell, that are working for this agency at least, remember hell, but they do remember the last sound being the sound of a chainsaw starting up. So I did not think that many people were scared of chainsaws, but apparently Chainsaw Devil is a big deal in hell if he killed all these devils, I guess. We then get a nice scene where the vengeance, or the violence fiend, is working with Kobeni, and I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but I really like her. And he's saying here, like, eat this ice cream. Like, I can't eat it, and I like watching and seeing other people do things they enjoy if I can't. And he's all about, all about peace and love kind of thing. And I'm just like, he is a violence fiend. I am only assuming this is going to eventually lead to some kind of commentary on, I don't know, emotional abuse or manipulation type violence, maybe physical violence. Like, he's going to betray her or someone in some way. That I don't believe he's just this nice, chill guy. But regardless, that's the dynamic that they have. He seems really chill and nice currently, but he's apparently so dangerous and violent that the poison mass. So clearly he must have acted out in the past. We then get the three brothers. So they think they're immortal for some reason. Like they've survived the gun devil and they've survived whatever the deaths of their parents and like food poisoning. And they're like, nope, we can't die. It's gonna be fine. So they go and attack the backup that Makima had called for Denji and drag them out to the woods and then like shape shift into these people, or at least one of them. And then one of them goes and runs up to the vengeance fiend, or sorry, the violence. Why do I keep saying vengeance? It is violence, isn't it? Pretty sure it's violence. And Kobeni, and is just like, hey, my partners are all been shot and attacked. Go get help. And they slight hesitation, but just believe him and run off. And then the brother in disguise is just like, God, you didn't even ask for ID. You guys are such bad agents. And Denji and Aki and them are investigating the scene where they have the dead bodies in the car, and they're just like, who could have done this? What happened? It must be the assassins. They're after us. Cut to Power wanting to drive Kobeni's car, and it's like, yeah, no, I totally have my license. She does not have her license. She does not know how to drive. It's a terrible idea. And she just floors it and runs into one of these agents. So Kobeni's like traumatized. Like, you just hit Denji and this other agent. You killed them. Oh my God. And Power just jumps out and is just like, her fault. Her car. Wasn't me. Not my fault. And they're like, hey, this agent, his face is shape-shifting back to someone else. It's changed. What the hell? He must have been one of the assassins. And Power's just like, called it, seen through the skies, only one. I'm the best. I love, love, love Power. I love her personality. Oh God, I just love her. And Kobeni's just traumatized, still in the car, like, did we or did we not just kill somebody? Also, you dented my car. What the hell? You said you'd be careful with it. Yeah, with Kobeni, it's just like, we know she's having money issues. We know she's being forced to work because of her parents and all that. And she's like, I guess, don't want any damage to her car and stuff like that. So it's even funnier within the next volume. So trace minor spoilers, but it's all within the same arc. They're throwing people out of the windows, and one of them lands and crashes on top of her car, and it's just hilarious because she's like not phased. She's phased, but not really, by all the people and fiends attacking behind her. She's just like looking at the window. My car. It's so pathetic. It's so sad. She needs a break. She needs a vacation. She needs a paid vacation. Quite honestly, if Kobeni eventually like joins an evil organization because they gave her like a 10% raise, a decent dental plan, and like covered her gas money, I would understand why she left, and I'd honestly be fine with it. We then are introduced to all the other assassins again, their plans. So the harem assassin, they're honestly just chilling. They're gone to get lunch and then doing the scene that got the chapter removed from Viz. And then you have Santa Claus creating an army of like living dolls. Like every time he touches someone, they get possessed and turn into a doll. You got Makima just like sitting on a bunch of bodies. No, she's not sitting on bodies yet. Regardless, she knows that it's going to get bad soon. A lot of people are going to die. So she tells Beam, our sweet, sweet little shark boy, to go protect Denji, and the spider fiend to just like bring back any bodies that can keep an eye on things. It's going to get bad. Then we also have Denji and them eating at a restaurant, and the assassins with the master-apprentice relationship are just kind of walking back and forth. Because again, they're trying to dry out the assassins, so they're not hiding. They're just out in public. And the master assassin, she stabs him with a nail 2 times, and it has this curse on it, so the next time he's stabbed, the curse will activate. So she gives that to the apprentice, like, this is your job. Once you complete it, then I will introduce you to the devils I have contracts with. So, Santa Claus's dolls chase them into a department store. Denji and the other bodyguards and Power and Aki and all them chase them into an apartment store. And the bodyguards are trying to fight them off, but they're getting overwhelmed. Anytime one of these dolls touches somebody, they turn them into a doll. But thankfully, Denji and Power are both like immune to this because they're fiends. But just when it looks like they're about to get overwhelmed, again, so by the Santa dolls assassins, someone comes in at like super speed and chops them all up. And that is the leader of the harem assassins. and they start fighting, and Denji and Power and them are completely overwhelmed, and it's actually their trainer who comes and saves them by holding the two other members of the harem hostage. The other ones, I guess, escaped, and it's just like, sit down, we have to talk, and he starts threatening her while Denji and Power are holding the other two hostage. But while he's threatening her, he pulls out a notepad and is basically just saying, careful what you say, Makima's listening, I have a plan to kill her. So he's betraying Makima, which I'm all for. And they're passing notes back and forth while having a casual kind of conversation about a reporter. I'm not quite sure what their history is, but she calls him her like former partner at one point. So I guess they were either friends or worked together in the past, and he's promising her that if she helps, then he can guarantee both her safety and the safety of her girls, which I really like, because earlier she had said, like, in terms of payment, like, give my girls human rights and an education. So those girls that are her assassins slash in the harem are all fiends. One of them can only like say Halloween. They're all very horror-ish themed. But before anything can go further, one of the guys, I'm pretty sure one of the shape-shifting brothers, comes in, starts shooting, causes havoc. Trainer goes out the window, fight occurs, Beam has to come and save Denji. Someone else gets thrown out the window. That's when we get Kobeni just being like, oh my god, poor girl, just poor girl. And then so much action and running around in these volumes. It was a lot. But Denji gets stabbed again by the cursed nail, and then you get this monster crucifixion kind of look thing happening, and it looks like Denji's dead again. However, it turns out that the apprentice and master assassins were actually working for Santa Claus, the puppet master. So the master does something to the apprentice to turn him into like the super perfect doll, and switches places with Santa. Don't really know what happened, but at the end, Santa ends up stabbing himself in the chest and sacrificing those three not orphans, but children, for the Hell Devil to transport everyone in the department store to hell, while the master assassin is waiting outside. She's like saying bye, Gramps, so I guess related in some way. And I read all these chapters like a week and a half ago, but I skimmed back through it. I don't know what happened to the fourth kid, because he had asked for 4 kids, 3 for the contract and 1 for pleasure. So I don't know if he's like the next apprentice assassin or what's happened to him. So we have all get transport to hell. Everyone's freaking out. The fiends are just like, oh, this is bad. This has a scent of hell in it. There's primal demons. One's like a primal fears. People or devils so powerful, like they've never been killed before, and you don't know what to do. Denji's down for the count. They can't pull the chainsaw to activate his revival thing. Only a little bit of the chainsaw comes out. And then down from the darkness, a little bit of black comes and splatters out, and it's the darkness fiend. And some weird imagery happens, and everyone is just getting sliced and cut apart. Like, no one's got arms anymore. They're outmatched by a lot. And I was very confused for everything that was going on, that it wasn't until I was skimming back over it to make my notes for this video that I'm like, Beam is actually dead. He got chopped to pieces, and I'm just like, well, it's an illusion or something like that the first time I was reading it. No, he's dead. My sweet little boy, he was trying to revive Denji. He had no arms. He's like bleeding into Denji's mouth and using his teeth to pull on the chainsaw, trying to react. Beam deserves better. Same thing happens to our Vengeance Fiend. He gets sliced to bits by the Darkness Fiend at one point, and I'm just like, what was the point of these characters? Like, Beam, I understood. He had his moments. He was very important. I miss him like crazy. Violence only had a few scenes. So I'm assuming that both of them are going to be resurrected at some point in time and come back. But they're going to be changed or manipulated in some way. So maybe the Violence Fiend was all about, like, peace and love and being very kind, and hence we have that very nice relationship with him and Kobeni. But when he comes back later on, then he'll be like pure violence, and maybe Kobeni can try to talk him and mellow him back out. I don't know. And Beam, our sweet little boy, Shark Boy, I don't want him to be anything but that. So I hope he comes back the exact same. All right, so apprentice slash now doll had told the violent or the darkness devil that like I sacrificed myself and all this in exchange, and I brought you the chainsaw devil heart. Now give me the power to kill Makima. So the darkness fiend goes out into our world where the master assassin is, and gives her a piece of like the darkness, which she ingests, transforms, got more power. And while everyone's getting sliced apart in that world, the spider devil fiend, whatever they are, I keep forgetting if they're a devil or a fiend, contacts Makima, and she's just sitting on a pile of corpse dolls. And it's just like, oh, you're trying to draw me out. Whatever shall I do? And the spider's just like, no, don't do it. It's a trap. And she's just like, summon me. So she like comes out of the spider, and now she's in hell, Makima. But she does something to like the unconscious, I'm pretty sure the apprentice assassin, to make him say, I sacrifice all of myself to bring us back from hell, back to the real world. And that happens. So, but right before that, Makima gets stabbed through the chest. I don't know if that was permanent, because she seemed pretty fine afterwards. She's able to wake up Denji and being like, hey, you need to protect me so we can go on that vacation. I can't remember if she said that, go on that vacation, doesn't really matter. Denji wakes up, and he goes on a rampage. But darkness has fallen. He's no match for this darkness devil slash fiend slash master assassin that has consumed some of the darkness devil. It was a very chaotic chapter with lots of fighting and no explanation of what was going on. So they're fighting, and Denji thinks the most appropriate way to deal with this situation, because powered by darkness, is to create some light. So he dumps a can of gasoline on him and lights himself on fire to produce a bunch of light, and then proceeds to beat this devil with a car. I'm here for like the plot and a good time and the funny antics and all that, but that was cool. That was just cool. During all this craziness, one of the backup bodyguard people who can like summon an octopus is talking with Denji and Power's trainer. And they're just having a conversation, like protecting Denji wasn't the objective. Whatever Makima's and Santa's final goal was, we don't know what it is, but it's aligned. They're after the same thing. And then it's just like, hey, are you sure Makima can't hear us? And it's like, yes, I'm sure I had the octopus check. There are no small animals around. So she uses like rats and birds to listen in, borrows their hearing of lesser creatures to spy on people. Which aligns with my theory that she is either a devil or a fiend of the fear of government, because, you know, like Big Brother is always watching and listening to you. So I'm sticking with that theory, and I like it. So I hope that ends up being somewhat what's going on. So Denji finally takes out the darkness. Is it a devil or a fiend at this point? If it's consumed, I guess it's consumed by the master assassin person, so most likely a fiend. Regardless, kills him, and is going off. There was a whole thing where the guy was trying to get in Denji's head of just being like, you're never going to be able to trust anyone. At any moment, someone you know and love could be turned to a doll. And Denji's just like, well, I hope it's on a Sunday because I get that day off, kind of thing. And fights him, kills him. Is like, great, I want to go on my vacation now. So then the leader of the harem of assassins ends up like chopping Denji's head off, but we know he's fine. He's immortal. But is detained or told to surrender by Makima. And in my favorite line of like any series, whenever this kind of line shows up, I just love it. It's cheesy, but I love it. So the leader of the harem harem assassin group is just like, all right, I surrender. I'll do whatever you want. I'll lick your boots. Just let my women go. They're like, just let them go free. And Makima is just like, a corpse is talking, and then proceeds to kill them. Meanwhile, the trainer, who we've established had some kind of relationship with them and had wanted to protect her and her group in exchange for helping kill Makima, is just standing there with a blindfold on, like, I don't want to see anything. And that's really sad. I missed one part because just before, because Denji didn't officially kill the master assassin. Instead, it was actually the group of the harem anime. Why do I keep saying anime? It starts with an A. That's probably why. Harem assassins. One of them, the Halloween one. How do you describe this? Their power was basically taking them to an altered dimension and putting all the information of the universe in their mind, driving them crazy, to the point that all they can utter is the word Halloween, and this spread to all the other dolls under this person's control as well. So that happened. Yeah, these 2 volumes was just, especially the last of the volumes, the second one, that it was a mess. It was a lot of action. It was all over the place. It wasn't my ideal. I had more fun in other volumes and chapters, but it was still really good. I love these characters. I'm excited to see what happens next. I love Denji. I love how simple his motivations are. I love that we had a reference back to his food insecurities, where he's eating this little rice ball onigiri thing, but he drops it at one point, and the bodyguards are just like, that's gross, don't eat it off the floor, like, throw it out, we'll get a new one. And he's like, I'll throw it out in my stomach, and proceeds to eat it because he's not wasting food. I love Power so much. We talked about that wonderful scene with the car and the assassin, but also just like little moments, like her being upset that her cat is sleeping in Denji's room, or saying, like, I don't want to go on vacation. I don't want to be used as bait. What's in it for me to attack these assassins? And Aki's just like, I'll let you drink Denji's blood till he dies. And she's like, yes! And I'm just like, you guys are supposed to be friends! I really love these characters and just the craziness of it. I am very excited to read the next couple volumes. I will actually be caught up decently soon, so that'll be fun. I don't know, do I do like chat? I'll just do random videos on the manga that I'm reading, and then I'll have an excuse to talk about Spy Family, because that had a twist I didn't see coming in the last couple chapters. Alright, I will talk to you later.